Hello everyone, welcome back to World of Warcraft Classic Season of Discovery, featuring a Human Paladin. If you're new here, feel free to enjoy the relaxing commentary of today's episode in the background. And as always, I hope everyone is doing well, and I thank you for joining me today. It means a lot. Today we are obtaining our last rune of Phase 3, the Hammer of the Righteous. It'll mark the very first time since Season of Discovery began that we'll be in possession of every single rune currently available to us. And it just so happens to be one of our best for our protection spec as well. We've got 2 more items to obtain on our Paladin grocery list, the first being the Symbol of Faith, which is simply picked up by a fellow Paladin in Hillsbrad. So let's grab that first before we head back over to Felwood. We should be getting close to our destination now. We are looking for a Tauren Paladin walking along the river here. And there he is.
Well met. Be careful. Ancestors watch over you.
A little bit of a fun callback, or should I say foreshadowing, for Tauren Paladins in the future. That is most certainly the easiest item to obtain on our lists. We've got our Triple Brewed Molten Lager, of course, from BRD, and we have our Shimmering Grave Dust from Princess Theradras. Now that we have these, it is time to head back to Felwood. So let's use our Hearthstone to get back to the Deepwater Tavern. And we'll take a boat over to Aberdeen. The final item on our list that we're looking to collect are Fiery Infernal Cores, which can be found by killing Infernals and Entropic Beasts within the Shattered Scar Vale. It's pretty much just north of where we picked up the original quest for this rune in the first place over in Felwood. Now, while this is fairly simple, just killing some elites for these cores, the drop rate is pretty low, and we need 3 of them. So it could be a little bit time consuming. We're going to hope that we're lucky today though. Alright, our boat has arrived. And we are off to Kalimdor. While we head back to Aberdeen, it's worth mentioning that in between episodes, we did help out our incredible group from the last episode get through the BRD bosses all the way up to and including the Ring of Law for a second time. And we even got some new shoulders as a result. Additionally, since it was very late at night by that point, I took the opportunity to casually nab our Wrath rune from the Vengeful Spirit roaming around the hinterlands. Nothing too exciting, just had to stay up late and grab it real quick. This rune is somewhat interesting, although I think it may be more impactful once Phase 4 comes around. It allows our consecration damage to now critically strike, which is always nice. And we gain additional critical strike for a bunch of our other holy spells equal to our physical critical strike chance. It's the unfortunate part about this rune is you kind of have to use it as a Retribution Paladin, because you don't really get physical crit from much else. You get it from the Emerald Warden's gear, I suppose, but especially if you're just going through the casual leveling method, you're not going to come across too much crit gear. So probably not going to use it, but still very cool that we have it. Now let's fly over to Astronar.
Hello.
And actually, scratch that. Let's go over to Talon Branch Glade, because Blood Venom Falls and the Scarred Vale are pretty close to the Alliance camp there. Alright, and we are now landing in Talon Branch Glade. Let us get on our mount and head over to Blood Venom Falls. Alright, we should be approaching our destination shortly. Let's see what these demons are made of. Alright, so these entropic beasts, level 51, 52, I think those are the ones that we're going to want the most. The infernal sentries aren't going to be terrible, I suppose. Still would probably like to avoid them, though, if we can. Luckily, these entropic beasts are also not elites, it's just the demons. The other unfortunate piece here is that we are taking a lot of magic damage, which is not ideal, but we'll have to make it work. Yeah, I can already tell that fire is going to be an absolute pain. That was an absolute nightmare. We do not want to face any more of these infernal sentries. But it doesn't look like there's a whole lot to go around, so we're probably not going to be able to be too picky about it. That magic damage is really crazy. We're definitely going to need a different strategy here, I think. It's just really, really rough not having the extra mana from Guarded by the Light. I really want to use exorcisms as well, but we just don't really have a lot of opportunity to do so. Yeah, this is tough. This is going to be tough. I feel like we need to keep Sacred Shield. I feel like we don't really have an option there. Perhaps Devotion Aura isn't doing super well here. Maybe we'll use Retribution Aura just to get a little bit of extra damage out. Let's get some buff food up for now as well. And let's see if we can focus on the entropic beasts for now. Man, yeah, Holy Shield just feels awful to use when you're not attacking multiple enemies. Still nothing quite yet. Let's head to the southern end of the Vale. Hopefully we can find some more of these beasts. course, we have to run here. This is going to be far more difficult than I would have thought. I don't know, I feel like we may have endured worse though, so let's keep our spirits high. There we go, our first fiery infernal core. Let's see if we can continue that luck. It's good to know that Sacred Shield can get us through some of the worst scenarios. Also, I didn't realize how much mana you can possibly get from Seal of Wisdom. It seems like quite a lot. At the moment, at least. Maybe that's something we'll just continue to use. Yeah, our Holy Shield and our Blessing of Sanctuary are basically doing nothing as far as the damage given back. Retribution Aura is actually doing quite a lot, as I hoped it would. So we'll continue to use that, and we'll start using Exorcism as well. Although we won't be able to use it against these because they're elementals. Only against the Infernals if we pick them up. And there is our second Fiery Infernal Core. I feel like our luck has been great so far. Let's get that last one. And that final core still eludes us. I think we're going at a decent pace though. There are a limited amount of enemies anyway. So we would have had to wait for them to respawn if we were killing them even just a little bit faster. Come to think about it, Aegis is probably doing absolutely nothing, since none of my other blocking abilities are doing anything. So we can get rid of that in a second, and go for either Seal of Martyrdom or Divine Storm. Seal of Martyrdom is probably a little bit better. We can do a little bit more damage with that. But Divine Storm also allows us to hit multiple enemies, something I didn't even really consider. Still heals us. We can still utilize Seal of Wisdom just to continue to get that mana regeneration back. Seal of Martyrdom would have given us some as well, but it also would have been dealing damage to us, which is also not super ideal. Ooh, we've actually got 2 Infernals here. That's not super ideal. One of them is only level 52 at least, so we can actually hit him. And they are dealing physical damage to us, so our blocks will actually help us. this is probably too much. The magic damage coming out is crazy. Luckily we shouldn't have a problem getting away from this and resetting. Really gotta do our best to stay away from those infernal bodyguards. Really tired of dealing with them. So we've got another entropic beast here. We've actually got 3, and they're just the beasts as well, not the horrors. So let's see if we can drink up. I would like to pull all 3 of those. Should be able to handle it. It's the first waylaid supply crate we've seen in a long time, that's for sure. Can't say I'm excited to see it. We push forward for that final core. And there it is, the third fiery infernal core. We should have all of the items required now for our last rune. Let's get back to Aenis. And whatever that guy's name is, the other guy, Gregory, I think. I am very much looking forward to another AoE ability, and I'm also looking forward to fighting non-magic enemies as well. I'd like to, utilize our insanely high block chance and actually put that to good use. Alright, the rope to get back up the hill should be close by. Should be somewhere in this area. It's a little further south. And we have returned to Gregory. Let us give him the materials of significance. And now we'll speak to Aenis. we're going to perform a ritual to finally get rid of the Mana Rock Echoing Orb. Interesting twist. Looks like Gregory is no more. And the orb looks like it's going to persist now. Let's see what happens in Phase 4 when we continue this little storyline. In the meantime, I am going to gladly take our new rune. And we are giving a follow-up quest here. Bring the Mana Rock Echoing Orb to Catherine the Pure in Stormwind. Cool. We'll get a little bit of extra story there. More importantly, that sweet 25 out of 25 number. Let's go down to wrists. Let's equip this one immediately. I'm gonna have to try to find a space for it on our bars too. I think we might move Avenger's Shield here. We'll move Exorcism away since we're trying not to use it. And there it is, the Hammer of the Righteous. Only 75 mana on a 6-second cooldown. Hammer the current target and up to 2 additional nearby targets, causing 4 times our main hand weapon damage per second as holy damage. Not sure what the per second means exactly there. But that, I mean, that's a ton of damage. Even with a one-hander, and we've got a pretty good one at that. A slow one-hander too, so that's going to deal even more damage. Very excited to see what details it tells us as we begin taking on more quests. And let us focus on returning to Catherine the Pure. We've still got 8 minutes left on our Hearthstone. I think I'd rather wait for that. Just seems like it makes a lot of sense. In the meantime, I'm going to take on some enemies in Fellwood. We'll take on some of the random wildlife. And we'll see what our new rune is capable of. The idea for Phase 4 leveling is going to be to basically pull a bunch of stuff at a time. I don't know if we're going to need Sacred Shield or not for that. We're going to have to play around with it. I think for now we're going to switch back to Guarded by the Light. And other than that, we're going to keep everything else the same, I think. So let's move some stuff around here. We'll keep Retribution Aura on as well. We'll see how much damage that contributes. And let's start pulling some stuff while we wait for our Hearthstone to come back. just after that one pull, it is very, very clear that Hammer of the Righteous is now our new best ability by quite a large margin. 30% of our damage is pretty crazy. Starting to get a little bit more from Holy Shield and Blessing of Sanctuary is nice, and Retribution Aura, 5% is still a lot. I don't know how I feel about the healing situation. That was only 4. I'd like to pull like 5 or 6 if we can. Maybe 5. 6 sounds like a lot. Sacred Shield could still be necessary though. So we'll have to test out Blessing of Wisdom again and see if that gives us enough. Divine Storm is also contributing a lot. It's also healing us, so I don't necessarily want to get rid of that for Seal of Martyrdom. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much all that we can do. But maybe that's good enough. Maybe we'll be able to pull 5. It just, with Guarded by the Light, it just stinks because our healing is basically cut in half. So it's a little risky. But without it, we are going to be quite mana hungry. Try one more pull and then we will start working on getting back to Stormwind. It does genuinely feel like Seal of Wisdom is enough, if not more, than what Guarded by the Light provides, which is kind of crazy. Because Guarded by the Light is also preventing us from accessing an entire ability, basically. Our biggest and best healing ability, for that matter. So that's really surprising to see. I'm very pleasantly surprised to see it. Something I will say, though, is part of the reason I didn't want to continue to use Exorcist, at least for the entire way to 60, is, one, I've gotten a little bit bored of it, but also it's quite a loud ability. It hits quite hard, it sounds very chunky, and I have a feeling that especially the machine gun aspect of the new way that Retribution Paladins play can get a bit annoying for more relaxed and chill playthrough. Unfortunately, Hammer of the Righteous is also pretty dang loud, I have to say. I remember using this ability back in Cataclysm, I think. Forgot what it sounded like. It's pretty dang loud. We might have to keep our audio effects on 5% moving forward, just to make things a little bit cleaner, a little bit more chill from the sound effects side of things. Let's get back to Menethil Harbor and let us fly ourselves back to Stormwind and speak with Catherine. we have landed in Stormwind. Let's get over to the Cathedral of Light and speak with Catherine.
Need help? Farewell.
Let's present her with the Manorock
Safe
Orb.
travels.
Oh? Oh? Hello? I had no idea we were getting a hammer. Wow,
Go
that
with honor,
is
friend.
so much more powerful than our good old bone biter. Oh, and it looks fantastic. Well, our DPS spec just got a massive upgrade. Very cool. Wish we could have gotten a one-hander or a shield instead, since I do want to prioritize prot. But man, if we do go back to Retribution, that is going to be
King's honor.
absolutely wonderful.
Light bless you.
Alright guys, and with that, I think we are all done for now. The Hammer of the Righteous and our final rune of Phase 3. We have a couple of options for the rest of the phase while we wait for Phase 4 to come out. We can work on gold. Level cap questing should be pretty neat. There are some lower level zones like Stranglethorn that we could revisit. Or we can go back to Hinterland Incursions. Either way would be pretty relaxing for the most part. Hinterland Incursions would be nice because we would be making gold and getting rep. And if we can get ourselves to Honored or Revered with the Emerald Wardens, we can pick up some additional pieces for ourselves. In either case, I hope you guys have enjoyed Phase 3. I hope you guys will continue to enjoy the Paladin moving forward. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.